Compsim Management Tools, or CMT, is a software tool to facilitate knowledge capture, decision-making, and project evaluation. Relative to decision-making, this video will walk you through one of the approaches supported by CMT, option-driven decision-making. CMT also supports criteria-driven decision-making. That will be introduced in another video. Criteria-driven decision-making is best utilized when one set of business drivers is used to compare several similar options. Option-driven decision-making is used when the drivers for the decisions are not the same. The pros and cons of each will drive the decision. This video will demonstrate the process to choose between several different expenditures where the drivers are different. This video is not intended to be a full training session on CMT. CMT comes with the training manual and user's manual as part of the installation. I will start by selecting the training file drawer that will hold my topic. I create a new issue to define my problem. In this case, my problem is what should be considered when you have some discretionary money to spend. When I click Save, I am delivered to the drawing mode, where I can add my options and arguments. Now I will add my options, called positions in CMT. Go on vacation to Hawaii, buy a new car, finish off the basement, add money to the college education fund, or just do nothing. Now I select my first option, the Hawaii vacation, and add some supporting and objecting arguments that will drive this option. This is a brainstorming exercise that can be revisited later, if necessary. When collecting these arguments, there are no right or wrong arguments. They will be weighted later. We are just collecting information. I am using the hotkeys Alt-A to add a new argument, Alt-S to make it a supporting argument, and Alt-O to make it an objecting argument. This just accelerates the data entry process. Now the arguments for buying a new car. Now the arguments for finishing off the basement. Now the arguments for funding the kids' college education. And finally, the arguments for doing nothing. Now we have collected the pros and cons. It is time to give them some impact. Starting with the Hawaii vacation, I am using the patented rank and weight process to establish the values for how strong I think the arguments should be. In CMT, these weights range between 0, no impact at all, so I would ignore the argument, to 100, or absolute. In this reasoning model, a 100 weighted supporting argument means the option must be chosen. It can, however, be offset by a 100 weighted objecting argument. This means that impossible overrides must. So commonly the weights are neither must 100 supporting or 100 objecting, unless one of the arguments clarifies an impossible case. I am repeating the rank and weight process for the option of buying a new car. Next, for finishing off the basement. The rank and weight process is commonly where you spend the most time. It takes thought, and the visual representation is helpful in making what are judgmental decisions, which are similar to visual functions where the visual size equates to impact. Now rank and weight the arguments for saving for college education. And finally, rank and weight the arguments for doing nothing. In this case, I am setting the objecting argument for doing nothing to 0, meaning it has no impact. Now I have enough information to make a decision, or at least see how CMT will objectively make the decision based on how I have weighted the arguments. A couple of clicks and I have my answer. Do nothing. Maybe it's not appropriate to ignore the argument that doing nothing does not satisfy my other needs. I am reviewing my arguments or doing nothing and assigning a value to the objecting argument. Now I will regenerate the report. Now it suggests that I should put the money in the bank for the kids' college education. Now consider this kind of a decision in a corporate environment, where you may have to explain the decision to employees or to the board of directors, or if you are tasked with creating a recommendation for management. You have the ability to explain the decision or recommendation, and if you need to re-weight an argument, you can do it on the spot and regenerate the decision report. Arguments are also items that might be saved in CMT templates. This will accelerate the decision-making process in the future. Finally, CMT is not making a decision by artificial means. It is just using the arguments you supplied with the weights you supplied. It is intended to highlight biases that might be included. You should end up with decisions that you are comfortable sharing with others. The ultimate goal is that decision-making can become a core competency of your organization.